All right, we're talking dogfights, salt mines, and the fine art of PvP in Star Citizen. And my next guest, Thumb in Your Bum, is going to let us pick his brain and tell us about him. Welcome and thank you for being on this for me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the invite, brother.
For sure, for sure. I've heard good things from like text and our text, you know what I'm saying? So it's like for sure. Um, yeah. So who are you? What's your call sign? And what org do you fly for if you fly for one?
Um, I am Thumb in Your Bum. A lot of people just call me Thumb because, it's a mouthful or a buttful. um,
Yeah.
I fly with Shadow Moses currently.
Nice, nice. That's what's up. How did you discover Star Citizen?
Um, I discovered Star Citizen just through a friend playing Rust. They recommended it. They were like, "Yo, I keep seeing clips for this game. We should check it out." And we did.
That's not. Yeah, you hear uh, people in like chat or whatever talking back and forth about Rust and stuff. A lot of people have probably played it first. Yeah. That's real cool. What made you get in? What made? Why? When did you start playing? And what were your first impressions?
I think I started playing in like around 2023. It was like when the 318 patch just dropped, so it was a shit show. But a lot of people hate that patch, right? For me, it was so interesting to play a game that was, as beautiful as Star Citizen. And like that patch, a big bug was ASOP terminals, right? They weren't working. You couldn't call ships. So I remember loading into the game for the first time, right? And me and my buddy were trying to get in our ship that we had no idea how to fly. We had no idea how to get there. So I started VoIPing people, being like, "Hey, like I'm new. Where do I get my ship?" And this guy answered me. He was like, "You're new?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just started playing." And he was like, "Brother, you chose a horrible time." But he showed me where the ASOP terminal was, and then he left, right? And I could not call a ship. I think I can't even remember where I was. Um, but I was like looking at global chat, and there was people that were like, "Hey, I'm at Lorville. Can somebody pick me up?" And then somebody would be like, "Yep, I'm coming. Like, I'll beat you there. Meet me out by the vehicle pad or whatever, you know." And like, I was like, "Whoa, people are like helping each other in this game. This is crazy." So I just like follow this guy, this other guy that, I was like, "Hey, where's the vehicle pad?" He was like, "Oh, you're trying to get a ride? I'll show you." And I just like get on this fucking ship with this guy with all these dudes, and I was like, "This is fucking awesome." And then he just took me somewhere where I could call a ship, and yeah, that part was just really interesting and cool to me, you know?
Yeah, that's very cool. Those to the people that helped him, you guys are true heroes, whoever you may be. Right?
I
That's
don't
what's
even
up.
remember their
I
names,
know the
dude.
heroes though. I mean, there's a lot of them.
They are
That's
heroes.
what's up. Um, when did you? What made you get into Star Citizen after the time? So I guess that was it. We already answered that question kind of too, right? So, um, have you or do you play any other space games like Star Citizen? And if you do, how do they compare?
I have never really been a space guy. I was mostly Rust, Apex, Call of Duty. Those are
This,
my
yeah,
games.
same. This is the first. This actually, well, my brother gave me his account, so I I had a PC to play this game, right? I think I tried Arma 3 for a minute, but yeah, first base game for me too, for sure. Which is cool. You know, it's good to see these in different people. Like some people have played. Like one of the guests was from Eve or something. You know, so it's cool. How
Hell
often do
yeah.
you play? You're in Shadow Moses, so you're probably a pretty consistent player. How often do you play now? And how much did you play when you were playing the most? And what was the longest break that you took, if you can remember all those?
Yeah. I play pretty often. I try to hop on, once a day, even if it's just for like 30 minutes to hit up AC with the boys. Um, I think the most I ever played was when I was grinding to get good in ships, and I can't remember what patch it was, but I remember I was a little sick So I wasn't doing anything, I was like sick enough where I was at home and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna hop in BR in the BR glory days. And I would wake up, I would eat, and then I would just hop in BR. And I was in BR almost every day for like 12 hours, dude. Like it was insane.
Nice.
For like 2 weeks straight. And then, there's I've mentioned this on my stream before, but I'll say it again. There's like this moment, right? Where like everybody knows in free flight, you want to fight somebody, you flare pass, right? And I remember like playing with Cold Kill and Kuzi and ZZ Gooch, and they're like, "Oh, I just got a flare pass from so and so in BR," right?
Mm-hmm.
And that never happened to me because I was a nobody. There was just one day in particular where like it was right around that 2 week grind I was doing, where I was in BR. It was a slower BR, and I see Cobra, and we're kind of off on our own. I just killed the guy, and like there's Cobra, and we look, and I see him drop a flare. And I was like, holy fucking shit. One of the best pilots in the game just flared me in BR. This is wild. And yeah, that like that time period, I think I was just grinding just to, get good at the game and figure out flight. And I had a lot of unlocks in there for the old flight model, and it was a fun time.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, like for me, this first game for sticks and first flying game and everything, so it took me, I had to grind at the first just to get up to speed. Yeah, for sure. That's cool. Uh,
Sorry, I didn't answer one of your questions.
okay, go
For
ahead.
the break, the longest break I've
Oh yeah,
taken.
okay.
To be honest, I haven't really taken a break. I think like the longest break I've taken was like I was on a backpacking trip and maybe I was like gone for like a little over a week. And there might be some weekends here and there when I do like little trips where I'm not playing, but I haven't like taken like a full on break yet. I'm still addicted to this stupid game.
Yeah, right. I mean, we'll hear from different people, but it's like I was kind of the same. Once I started playing this, I haven't really played any other games besides like maybe Ghost of Tsushima or whatever it's called, just for like
Hmm.
fun, right? But other than this, I mean, it takes up most of your time when you love it, kind of, right?
Yeah.
I'm still This is my first flight model. I was like in the other flight model for like a couple weeks, like a month maybe, in my Aurora, right? So it's like I only know this one, so it's really cool to hear all this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so what's your favorite era or patch in SC's PvP history, and why?
I'm probably gonna get flamed for this, but I like I'm liking these patches. I think in the old flight model there was some perks, but it was still just an aim duel at the higher level, right? Unless you had a handshake with somebody and you both were knife fighters. Um, and in terms of PU battles or big, large battles in general, it was just a tricord fest. You could, in the old flight model, if you really, really wanted to, you could just never die. And fights in the PU didn't seem definitive. And a lot of orgs would fight each other, and then you'd hear the news that they both won. And you're like, how the fuck is this even possible? Um, in master modes, there's some trade-offs, right? But I feel like the team fights are where master modes really, really shine. Fights are definitive. It's hard to get away. You can't, especially if there's a mantis on the field, like nobody's getting away. So um, just people die a lot more. And to me, it's more fun when people are dying, when I'm dying, when I'm killing people in the game. It's just a bit more enjoyable to me in that way. I think a lot of people get caught up in the old flight model, especially the old heads, right? Where they're like, I die all the time now. And it's like, yeah, you're playing a game. Like we're supposed to die, like sure, you want to be the best and you want to die as little as possible. But, I I don't know. I just enjoy the rushes of, oh my god, we lost, or oh my god, we won kind of vibe, rather than, you know, dealing with a mess of one guy or two guys just zipping around because they're tricording at max G's and speeds, and then their team comes back and they kill a couple guys, and um it just goes back and forth forever.
Dude, preach it. And like, you got a new follower. Like, I'm following you now because I'm with you in this. It's like, um, like they're all old heads in Blackfleet. Oh, that's a burn, but it's true, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
um, one of them's like his daughter's like our age. You know what I mean? So it's like they're all old heads,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're gonna love when they hear this. But it's like what you just said about the team thing. It's like that's why the orgs got started 10 years ago or whatever, right? To be in the team fights and all that, and then I think. I mean, I haven't played the others, but just coming from what people say and like watching videos, this is like the best model for team fights, right? And I think some people are bitter about the flight model changing. I mean, whether it's for their score or for their winning or whatever it's for, but it's like they're missing out on like what they got an org for. Like you said, if you didn't want to die and you wanted to get away in the other flight model, you didn't need a group to get away, right? But um, yeah, that's like people I think are missing out on one of the a really good time to team fight. Right?
Yeah, and I think it's human nature, to have something taken away from you, right? Like, if you're training really hard for something and you took years to get you at a really good place, right? Like the old flight model, there's guys who trained forever, right, to be the tippity top, and then all of a sudden a new flight mode comes in, and they have to relearn a lot of stuff, and they have to, you know, just completely forget what they used to know. I think it's pretty natural for humans to not like stuff like that. But that's just failure to adapt in my eyes.
Well, yeah, or like years to perfect that, and then it changes, and then it takes like it takes me like 6 months to get to that level now in this flight model, and or anybody that's new, if you put in work and like you said, um, and maybe some people are like, oh, I'm not gonna lose to these fucking kids or these new people, right? And it's just them not adapt, like you said, not adapting has nothing to do. Like they should not be able to lose. They shouldn't lose again, or still unless they get caught up in a group fight and they're by themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what's it? B6 Jordan's little bounty hunter crew always tries to come in and get like I'll be like with River Grid or like I don't fly with too many people, but and they'll come in and try to get all the bounties, and I'll just freaking shoot one until they turn around. I'll chafe and bounce out, right? Like
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
So that's like you don't have to worry about that. Just group up, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't know a lot. I mean, like I said, I've only played this a little bit of the last one, but definitely didn't have enough time to even really remember. Um, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with this one, right? It's a little bit slower, and you will lose in BR or whatever. But all right, well, which ships, loadouts, tactics, compositions are the most fun to fly? And let's say right now and historically.
Yeah. I've always been a memer, like, I mean, I like my meta, right? When the Gladius is meta, you could catch me flying that. When the Arrow is meta, you could catch me flying that. But
Man, I love Arrow.
I, I've
Catch me in that right
I've
now.
all yeah, I've always loved the meme ships, like on my stream every once in a while, when I feel like I have a good patch to come into and do it, I do a 0 to hero. My account name is For All Bob Kind, and I only start with a Titan. I have rules that, like, I can only pirate people. I can't actually like do regular missions. I have to steal to make money, but like flying the Titan is very fun. It's a meme ship. It's fast. You can get in and out, but it's also squishy. So I have an affinity for the Titan. I love flying that thing, and it's really funny when you get kills. Um, but yeah, like in the old flight model, I loved the Aurora. Like flying the Aurora around the PU and killing people in this stupid little starter ship it brought me great joy. Um, Even when, like, a couple patches ago, when the Arrow was horrible, I loved flying that thing in the PU. For loadouts, like I'm usually because I'm in meme ships. I'm probably going to be in. I'm going to use Panthers or some sort of laser repeater. Just because it's already at a deficit, right? Because it's a meme ship.
Right.
But yeah, I like the Cuddy. It's never really been meta. Maybe in the old flight style, when if you were a complete rat with 48 size ones and a VTOL tricord, it was good. But yeah, I just love flying off meta. To me, it's just like the most fun and challenging. Right now, currently, my favorite ship to fly, if I have a crew, is actually the TAC. The Star Lancer TAC.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call it the Stream Lancer. It is
Fat booty.
so fun. It is actually, if you fly it correctly, because it has shield faces, right? So if you know how to like turn your ship to avoid fire when shields are going down, other shields regen. It has a lot of guns. It has 8 rhinos and 4 Galdarines, right? So you pair that thing with a mantis, it's actually dangerous. So like, I've done this thing where I'm like, I flew the TAC around like it just as a meme. I had one, like I own it. I just think it's a cool ship in general. I have a dream for it, but I won't get into that. But like I just got in it one day and we literally killed. I'm not even kidding you. We killed at least 40 people like in this thing, and most of the people were in an org. I can't remember what org, but like a smaller one, not a sweat org. But they just kept coming. And they were bringing everything. They brought Ions. They brought Guardians. They brought Gladius, Arrow.
I love Bobs.
Yeah, they brought everything under the sun, and we were just smoking them. So right now, that ship is literally the most fun thing to fly to me right now.
That's tight. Yeah, I just try to fly the Arrow mostly in like in Arena Commander. Even though like I could, it's soft, but it's like I could take out people that bring their F7As in there and think they're all bad, and the Arrow smoke is really funny too. Yeah,
the Arrow's actually good right now, man. Like that thing is, it's snappy. I feel like they did something to the oversteer, and it just feels like a very strong ship right now.
I like it, yeah. And I rented the Titan the other day in game, and it flew it. And yeah, you're right about like it goes like 1400, so like 1440. It does. Mm-hmm. It flies really good. Like how it feels. I love it too. Yeah, and that's the first time I've flown it. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Try the Warlock.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
The Warlock is a good time. I was flying it last night, and I 2v1 Texan Riot and Junkies. They were in Buccaneers, and I shut them both off. It was pretty funny.
Nice. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna try the Warlock for sure. That you said that. Yeah. So, did you ever have a rivalry, org fight, or clash that you'll never forget?
To be honest, just recently I was streaming and I just stumbled upon it. And it was just this massive group. It was 388, and it turned out to be the first time, like, there was Idris, Polaris, tons of light fighters, tons. Like, I'm pretty sure at the time 388 had a minimum of 12 fighters, maybe 15. And we were outnumbered, and like it was the most, frames were not the best, but it was the most cinematic, fun fight I think I've ever had in my life. Like there's a clip that circulated around and even made it to CIG offices of me getting targeted. I pushed a little ahead and 388 just targeted me. And I was so freaking red. Like there was not a blue part of my ship, but I didn't die. And I'm navving. I'm like flying in between my friendly capital ships, and I'm like bobbing and weaving through these things. And I'm like getting close, hoping that they could shoot some, or maybe one would crash into my fellow Idris to get off my tail. And dude, like that fight it was like a drug to me. Um, like I will forever be chasing the dragon on fights like that. Like these big fights, dude. Like that that fight was peak Star Citizen gameplay. Like again, I will be chasing that dragon until we get more action like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, chase the trick. That's how I feel sometimes too.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Um, what is the most fun that you can have in Star Citizen currently? What about ever?
The most fun you could have in Star Citizen currently. Hmm. I think it's just like going out and just trying stuff, you know? Like I feel like sometimes the PvP community, and I'm guilty of this too. The PvP community just is in this thing where we want to be in our ships and we want to be fighting each other, you know? And we want these, like I just said, like these big epic battles. And that's great when it happens. It's wonderful. But like also it would get kind of boring if it happened every night. You know what I mean? So I think like the most fun you could have is just do something interesting, do something weird that's like out of your element, and it might even put you at a lesser spot. And what I mean by that is like sometimes like, and I have to remind myself of this when I'm playing, like sometimes like just get a bounty and maybe go do a bunker mission with a bounty already, or go do a bunker mission, an illegal one, and like, play the game. Like maybe do a Vaughn mission, right? Like the PvE in this game isn't the best, but I feel like when you're doing things like this, when you're out of your ship, right? Or maybe you're running to your ship, it's like when the most fun happens. Like you'll be running to your ship and then all of a sudden you look up and there's like a saber flying in, right? Looking right at you because it's a random Bob bounty hunter, right? And you fucking run back into the bunker or something. Like there's just all these like things that, I feel like a
That's
lot of the
scary to think
PvP
about.
community. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's fun,
Yeah,
right?
fun,
Like
fun, scary.
bring a rail gun or something if you're gonna do that. So you can at least kill him with a rail gun and get a rail gun shot and tell your friends and clip it or whatever.
Yep.
But I feel like the PvP community sometimes gets too caught up in this old mentality of like, I don't want to get clipped, And it's like, brother, you're playing a game, right? You could
Right.
be in your ship all day, flying around aimlessly, right? Being like, I don't know what to do. There's no bounties on here or whatever. Which again, I'm guilty of this. I just did this yesterday, right? But like, I think just getting out of that mentality of you always have to be in your ship. We have a whole game that we could play, right? We could go to Pyro. We could do something. We could put ourselves, maybe in a position that we're not very comfortable in. And who knows? Maybe nothing happens and you're like, why the fuck did I just do this PvE mission? Nothing happened. Or maybe something crazy will happen. Maybe you'll get a bunch of bounty hunters after you and you're holed up in a bunker, or you're floating EVA while there's a big battle of bounty hunters fighting over your bounty, in front of you or something. Like, I think that's what you could have the most fun with currently is just getting out, playing the game, getting outside of your element.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, yeah, I agree. It's good advice. Like, go and explore or make trouble, whatever. There's a bunch to do, right?
Yeah.
All right. How did you get good at Star Citizen? Were you always good? Was it hard to learn, or like, did you get in an org and then get PvP good? How did that happen?
I definitely was not good at Star Citizen when I first started playing. I crashed a hell of a lot. I just happened to meet a guy in the verse, and he brought me into Vanguard. Um, and then it was just that 2 weeks that we talked about earlier that I feel like I unlocked a lot. It just like it's just like anything, like 99.9% of the people you meet in anything you do were not good starting out. Like
Right.
I do jujitsu. That's kind of
Nice.
like my other main hobby. Very few people just put on a gi, put on a belt, and they're just cracked.
Yeah, I'm a
Um,
purple belt in karate, so we're like, me and you could take on a mall shooter, dude. So
hell
that's
yeah,
what's up.
dude.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. But like, so that you'd understand that, like, in order to get good at something, you just have to put time in, right? And that's all it comes down to
For
is
sure.
like, are you putting the time in? And then on top of that, are you putting the time in intentionally? And what I mean by intentionally is like, like if you're just flying and you're just fighting in free flight and you're just going at it, that has merit to an extent. But like if you come in and you record yourself and you analyze the videos and you go, how did this guy kill me? What did I do? What did he do? And you start thinking about that and just like putting that into your training, whether it's, Star Citizen or jujitsu or woodworking or welding or whatever it is that you're trying to do. If you start like analyzing what you're doing and just like thinking about it and just practicing, trying things, taking note, be like, okay, this time I'm going to try this. What happens if I try this? Oh my God, that didn't work. Right. But maybe it worked on another guy. Try it again. Like there's all this stuff that you could do um, to just get better at anything. And it just comes down to time and intention.
Yeah, for what you want from it and how hard you go in the paint. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah, exactly.
for sure. Yeah. And it's like, I feel the same that too. You people will come in and it's just not everybody. A lot of people play Star Citizen. Not everybody likes or tries to PvP, and then not everybody mines rocks and stuff. And it's like I'll try now that because I spent most of the time when I first started just an arena commander, and then I still fight quantum and all that stupid crap like that. But um, I'll try to do something else. We'll do missions or whatever, to get um, the rewards and stuff. But I figured out that I'll be doing stuff like that, and I'm constantly like, all right, I want to fight somebody, right? I
Yeah,
mean, the stuff's cool and all, but it's like I'd like to fight somebody. So yeah, I
for
think
sure.
yeah, that's cool. What's the most important, or two or three most important things someone should keep in their heads if they want to get good at Star Citizen? Like, we kind of just touched on it just a little bit. Like you have to put the effort in, like you said, and then do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I think and me and you kind of talked about this earlier before we started, but like um you got to find people to train with, right? Like you could get pretty far by just flying solo and free flight. But it sure is a hell of a lot more fun when you're in comms with somebody. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, you learn more, I
um
think, when you're yeah.
yeah. So finding teammates that are on the same wavelength as you, right? Like orgs are very powerful, but just don't join an org just because they might be the best or whatever. Like make sure you really vibe with the people. That's very important. Um, and yeah, I think just like learn the game, all aspects of it, right? Like, you want to be good at a light fighter, you still have to understand the principles of like how interceptors work or how heavies or mediums work, right? So like dueling gladiuses, gladi v gladi or arrow v gladi is great, and you're gonna do pretty good in duels. But I feel like to be very competitive in team fights, you have to have a good understanding of how every ship flies within that spectrum. So put in the time, find some friends, and learn other ships.
There you go. Know your weapons and your
Yeah.
opponent. Yeah, for sure. That's great advice. What's the most powerful secret tactic, trick, or edge you'd be willing to divulge? Does it need to be restricted to like direct combat, or do you think it could be any kind of little secret or something you want to share? Don't have to.
Yeah. Um, there's not really a whole lot of secrets, you know? I think the best secret is just put the time in
Don't trust
intentionally.
elevators, but yes, what you said
Yeah,
too.
don't trust elevators. But yeah, just the biggest secret is just grind, fight. Um, and actually, biggest secret is do the things you suck at. Right? If you're a very very good knife fighter, that's great. Learn how to kite. Learn how to kill a kiter. Right? Somebody who's kiting you. And kind of like we just talked about, in order to kill a kiter, you have to understand what they're doing. So I think like train things that you are not good at. If you're bad at NDBs, if you're bad at knife fighting, train that. If you're bad at squad battles, you're really good at duels, train squad battles. You're already good. You don't need to train anymore in duels. You know what I mean? Keep the knife sharp. Step in from time to time. But once you get to a certain point, to be an all-around good teammate, you need to get a better understanding of all aspects of the game, in my opinion. So that's
Yeah,
the secret.
great advice, and I hope everybody that's new or whatever listens to that, because that's what you want to be, completely well-rounded, because you never know what you're gonna get, right? Which is the awesome
Yeah.
part about it.
I would rather have somebody who's okay at duels and okay at team fights than just a strong dueler on my team any day.
Yeah, you can see where you you want to be familiar with what you're doing in anything, no matter what. Yeah, and then but like you said, um, if you're always in knife fighting, and then you're gonna compete against Shadow Moses, some of these good whatever AVS, who there's a lot of Liberty Reapers, they do competitions, if anybody like that, um, if they're gonna figure out that you're a one trick pony really quick, and then you're gonna pay for it. So it's like you said, it's better to it's it's nice to have teammates that are capable, right? Not just strong in one single point. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yep. Exactly.
Awesome, awesome. How do you feel about the current state of PvP? Or you could expand to Star Citizen in general. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to just go PvP, whatever you want. But how do you feel about the current state of it?
Um, the current state of PvP is okay right now. I feel like if a lot more people just get involved and get off their high horse about loving the old flight model so much,
Get some team fights going,
PvP,
right?
yeah, there's some orgs right now that are like making a name for themselves and doing work. Some of them I like, some of them I don't, but I'll be fair and I'll name them all. Like 388 is out here grinding every day I get on.
That's the
I
grit.
run into 388. BVL, same way. Cinderborn. I can't remember their actual name, but they all have the BR tag. They are always playing. Like
What
there
is
are
that?
some new and up and I think it's BlackRock. But there's a lot of new up and coming orgs that just have that new fresh blood that are just grinding and making a name for themselves, and they're getting out and they're playing and they're not as scared to lose. They're not afraid to lose, and they're just like out there fighting. And when you run into them, it's a blast. It is a good fucking time. So I think like the state of PvP is a bit rough, but it's on the up and up. You know, the more that these younger, newer orgs are getting their foot into the game and recruiting more and more people, it's just gonna breed a good ground. Now, for the state of the game in general, it has its issues. I'm not a fan of capital ships with how they are. I think the way the Polaris is pretty good. Right, pilot, you can't really solo a Polaris. I'm not really a fan of solo Idrises. They piss me off. But it's how the game is. And maybe dumbly, I kind of have a little bit. Maybe it's because I'm new and I started in a horrible patch, but I kind of still have a lot of faith in CIG and with what they're doing. I think overall the game and the bugs you run into are a lot better than before. Again, there's just still some major and small annoying issues, but overall, I think it's in a pretty good spot. You know, with any game, there's always going to be issues, right? Doesn't matter if you're playing Call of Duty or Apex or even Rust, right? Like devs are always changing things, and it's always going to piss people off. Some people are going to like it. Some people are going to hate it. You know, so game's all right now, in my opinion. I think they're headed in an okay direction. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you too. So it's like I don't have any. I haven't been tainted by the being held up by the last flight medal. So it's like killing like dying doesn't matter to me. And then I mean it does. Like if I was like when I was in the tournament or whatever, like that's different than just than taking it serious when you have a good fight. But yeah, it's like I mean, for what it is, like people trying to fight each other in ships with different internet connections, everything. It's fine. I mean, and like the bugs and stuff. That's all I really know. So they don't really. If you like you said, if you're in an org or you're with friends that play, you learn them quick, and then you know how to get out of most of them. So it's no big deal really, for me anyway. I mean,
yeah,
I know older heads will come in and be like, it's fucking buggy, I can't get my shit, but it's like, I mean, that's all I know, so.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, for sure. What are some things the game does well?
Some things the game does well. It's a beautiful game, right?
For sure.
Like it's stunning. And maybe my Bob will show here, but like there's some times where I'm just flying around the verse doing missions or whatever if I'm not streaming and I'm just enjoying the game, not sweating. There's literally moments where I'm like, "Oh my fucking god, this game is unreal." Like you'll be at Pyro on Bloom and you'll see like a sunset and you're like, "Bro, this is wild." You'll see like a storm move through and you'll be like, "Holy shit, it almost looks real," you know?
Yeah,
When
my
the game
girlfriend
is
walked through and was like, what movie are you watching? And I was like, what?
yeah.
Don't say
It's
something
really
like that.
good.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. But I think some other things it does well is like when the game is working and firing on all cylinders and you're lucky and you get a good server, like those big battles, man. Like nothing else like it in any other game that I personally have ever played. Like it nails those when it is working, you know. Rare, but still happens, and when it does, it's the most fun I've ever had in any game.
Agreed. Same, I like flying around with because nobody in Blackfleet's playing, so I'm the most of the time I've been to PU besides with like the rare times that we jumped in with Blackfleet. I've played with 388. They are really good. I'd like to shout out to them and Cinderborn because they are putting in work in the PvP in the um, PU because that's how I met Tex, right? And then Black Blackville, even though I had never seen them, I seen them in a game the other night. I think they were fighting you guys, but it's like other than that, I'd never seen. Tex introduced. I think he introduced somebody, but it's like Gray did it because they're putting in work serious to them. So yeah, those people like that are still those groups are still holding it down. Especially when there are a lot of gone or not playing too much.
Yeah.
The BR people, like you said, yes, they fight and they're not scared to lose stuff. I respect that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody told me what it meant. I think you're right, BlackRock.
Yeah, I think it is BlackRock.
All right, so uh, let's see. What was the one feature? Um, what was the one feature like system ship? Uh, it could be anything that you think or you think they should add in Star Citizen.
Hmm.
Like, for example, like it'd be cool if you could like have a button that would save your MFD configuration, right? Or
Yeah,
like
that would be a good one.
that'd be
That
good.
would
Or
be a
like you could
great one.
switch your pip color or something, just for example.
Yeah. Yeah. One that I really wish they would do is, sometimes you're trying to nav somewhere and there's like a bunch of nav points stacked on each other.
Yeah, I love
I
that.
would love it if they would allow you, just like they do with ships, right? There's three ships next to each other. I could cycle target. I would love a cycle target on naving. Like you're looking at three, right? Like I'll just use the Hathor sites. You're looking at a treatise, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
I would love to be able to cycle through those and be like, take me to OLP and it doesn't move or like switch to the other one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, like you sit there, you're in the system, you hit a button like that, and it switches like in or just on your screen or your quantum screen. You switch your location. Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, just like looking at, like sometimes like there's weird ones like the like Cruel one will be stacked up with something, and you're looking at it and you're like, maybe it could be
Yeah,
the same button
it's like
as
Cruel
your
One,
how you
Cruel World
target a ship.
Two, and like a freaking
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
workflow.
And yeah, maybe you like just, flick a button on your stick or hit something on your keyboard and it just cycles through them and you could be like, "Oh, there I cycled to Cruel 1. That's where I want to go." Perfect, Like that'd be great.
Yeah, coming from like a PvPer that fights real people in the game, it's like they have their quantum and their elevators are fucking dangerous, right? But
Yeah,
it's all right. Still
elevators are
love them.
scary.
Yeah, that's the whole other thing. But it's like I fight a lot with like if I hang out with a Bob group or something like that, they're all jump, jump, jump. They're all to the point, and they're like, well, if I could fucking get it spooled, right? It's so bad.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that's funny. What's the most? Let's see. Um, talk about um, if a GD could remove one bug from the game, like right now, one bug. Which bug would you wish for first?
Probably again going back to nav, like just the nav bug. You like sometimes you'll spool up and you'll see it calibrate, right? And you're looking at a target and it starts to focus in on that target where you could nav to, and then it restarts over, you know? Or like
Yep.
there's another one where if you're in a party and you're trying to jump somewhere planet side and you'll jump for a little bit and then it pulls you out. It ends your jump. Like those things are very frustrating to me.
Yeah, like I said, it's I beat myself up because I think I'm like one of the worst quantum jumpers in the world. But I just like I'm just trying to practice. Like you said, I'm trying to practice. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm jumping back and forth, fucking trying to, you know what I'm saying? Jump around
Yeah,
the moon
yeah,
and yeah, not have to like where it gets stuck and I have to what's it called, destination and then go back to the like you said the button. I could just if I was at this guy and he's bugged out and I can't jump to him, I could switch to the other dude. Maybe that would help me. But it's like I could see the place. There's nothing in the way, and I won't spool or I won't like um like connect all the way. And yeah, it gets
yeah.
frustrating. But
Well, that's not you, brother. That's the game.
well, it's good to hear because I was like I'll be there like in 15 minutes when I get around
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the yellow, right? um, so we've talked a little bit about org wars, but not kind of like this. How do you think org wars, bounty systems, and reputation should evolve? And what an org war would be like, where everybody's marked, you know who it is, and like you might be able to get credit for it, or like it matter. What do you think?
Yeah, so a bit of a complex question, but
For sure.
for org wars to actually happen, like it needs to extend past just bounties, right? They had a moment when Hathor first launched, um, when it worked, when the lasers worked, where orgs had something to fight for, and that is crucial. Everybody wanted Karenite, Janelite, and whatever the other one was. Everybody wanted it to get a Polaris, and that patch was the most fun I have had in any other game. Were they as cinematic as the fight that I was explaining against 388? No, not really. There was some jank, but just the overall principle of like you have this place that needs to be locked down by air. You need ground crew, FPS guys, and you need support dudes, guys mining. right? Like that trifecta to hold the location and have all those components to keep your the whole safe, to keep your air, the surrounding air also clear, and like have dudes down there mining was just like amazing to me. Like it was the best. We fought so many orgs I've never even heard of, Bob orgs, PvP orgs, like every single org was there. Even Test Squadron we ran into, which you never see them. They never are online. You know what I mean? Like, even though they're the largest org, but like that shit was insane. And in order to have org fights, we need more things like that in the game. We need something to lock down and harvest and grind and fight over, and like that's what makes an org battle. Like bounty systems are great. They're good filler in the meantime. But like the core principle of like the game is it's a sandbox, and we need locations, right? Like think of it historically. Like you said you're quite new, but like before Hathor, it was Jumptown. When Jumptown came around, that's when you got the most action. That's when you would like, you know, adjust your schedule to make sure that you could be online at peak hours so you could fight, right? And the reason why was because you had a facility shitting out drugs that were worth money, and people fought over it. People wanted it. People would jump servers looking for orgs in order to, get good fights. So I think that needs to be the core principle. We have to have something to fight over, or else org battles are just role play, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like we've talked about this. I've asked this question, and it's like a lot of time. Well, I said that like a couple, that what if it like it mattered? It could be in the lore or something, and like in the PU or something, the org can take a spot whenever they want, and however it goes. I mean, there's probably ways to to tweak it and whatever, but it's like so they take over a spot and they actually in game hold the rights to that spot and have to fight it off and stuff, and it actually and like it could even say like online or something like Shadow Moses is holding this spot or whatever, and then somebody else tries to come and take it, and it says that it can count or matter or whatever more than like you said just having people meet up and fight and then everybody saying they won, you know, but stuff like that would be really cool, right? Because a bounty, like you
Yeah.
said, is still just one dude's name, right? Not that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think like when the Hathor patch came out, that is the most hopium and copium I ever huffed while playing this game, because I was like, holy fucking shit, they did it. They gave us something to fight over, and they crushed it. They knocked it out of the fucking park with the original Hathor mission, right? And not to get
Yeah.
too far in the weeds here, but they then the next patch they absolutely demolished it with the script thing, right? Like I feel like a lot of times like people get caught up. They're a PvPer or they're a PvEer, right? Those are the loudest voices that you hear on Spectrum. PvP is XYZ, PvE is XYZ. We hate each other, blah, 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 blah. I feel like a lot of times people forget that the bulk of the gameplay, the people who play the game, are just normal people. Maybe they're not sweaty. They got a couple hours to kill, right? And they just want to play the game. Most people who play this game are going to take the easiest route given to them to achieve their objective. The objective at the time was a Polaris, a Wicklow Polaris, right? A lot of people wanted it because they didn't buy one or whatever. They just wanted something to do. So when they introduced scripts, it completely demolished the whole vibe of Hathor, because you could just farm these PvE missions out in the middle of nowhere and never see somebody, and it was easy, right? So those people who have a couple hours to play today, of course they're going to do that rather than get a crew together and go to Hathor or solo sneak in and maybe kill a guy and steal his Karenite. So I think like if they could just go back to that original method of mission design and of course, give PvE enjoyers like another option, but make it outrageously hard, right? Like, sure, keep scripting the game, but maybe make it like 40x what it would be if you got Karenite. Like I think like that core principle, if they could get back to that, like we would be in such a good spot, in my opinion, for like or gameplay and just gameplay in general. Now you go to Hathor and it's dead.
Yeah, it's like a ghost town. And
Yeah.
it's like teamwork makes the dream work, right? So it's like going in 1v1 in, that's cool too. You have to be able to do that, but it's like if it doesn't make you wet, like you said, like ground feet people, feathers people, and I guess you'd say logistics people, whatever you would say.
Yeah.
Having all that go on, and you have your job, your role, or whatever, and having other real life people with you, it's so awesome. Um, and if people want to fly out there and do those missions like that, and they live with it, that's fine too. No, I'm just joking, but
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
what you mean. Yeah, it's like you shouldn't credit the people that have to fight or don't have to that want to go and fight real people with the same as like missions can do out in space with nothing. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean we still got their back, but it's like uh, that would like I was there when it first. Yeah, if there was fights there, you just pull up and there's fights all the time. And
Yeah, man. Even if you were in a like most of my gameplay is like with a couple dudes, right? Like I'm in an org when we call upon each other, right? I could be in the verse and I'm like, oh my god, there's 15 dudes on my server at OM1, and people roll. But like most of my gameplay is with like three, maybe five dudes on average.
right.
For my normal, like I'm hopping on. I got my boys I like to play with who are on the same time schedule as me.
Yep. Yep. You
And
always have
even
that too.
then, dude, yeah, even then, like coming in, seeing an org at Hathor and just trying to be sneaky, parking our ships or ejecting while we're really close to the hole or getting a stealth ship and flying down or like going to reset the laser because there's a Polaris hovering over the hole, like that
Whole
is
blocker.
like fucking awesome. Like
Yes.
the option to either call all my friends or roll in with a stealth crew. Like to me, like having those options are just fucking sick.
Yeah, to be able to choose the way that you're going to be as deadly as you could be is so cool, right? It was not just so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
room for adapt, and then room for to like um spontaneous, just to do stuff on like if you're like you said, you have a good strong team and stuff. Your people you play with, you already kind of know what to do. You can switch it up, and you're hard to beat.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree too. Most people will for sure, and what like you said it just a minute ago, but it's like the PvP versus PvE. It's like we don't have to be, we don't have to hate each other, right? It's like they don't want to fight, but we don't have to hate each other because we will kill people that are in the way for our team, whether there's no reason why. It's just because they're not on a team, right? That's basically it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So, what makes that was a great answer too. What makes a flight meaningful for you, or fight? What makes a fight meaningful?
What makes a fight meaningful? A fight meaningful is like in my mind is when it's just challenging, you know. A lot of people will fly around and little shade here, but like Griefernet, for example, they'll tout they have thousands of kills, and it's like, who are you killing? You're going to starter mission spots and you're killing nobodies, right? Like, I do that too, but the meaningful fights are the hard ones, you know? I don't take joy in ganking a new player, Like, to me, that's just not enjoyable as like a big battle against AVS or 388 or BVL, Like, the challenging fights are the things that make it interesting. I play the game because I want, this is gonna sound dumb, but like I want to die. I want to meet a challenge, whether I'm undermanned or outskilled. Like that's what I'm looking for every time I get on. You know, like it's fun to win for sure. And you know, I do all the things that I just gave Griefern a shit about. I do that when I'm bored, whatever. But like the meaningful ones are the ones that just like are a grind, you know? Like it's not easy. It's hard, right? To me that's like what makes a fight a memorable and just meaningful.
Yeah, for sure. It's like with the GrieferNet thing. It's like they have like an in-house tracker or something. I've seen a picture of somebody looking at one of their trackers and showing that there's been GrieferNet people that have killed me that I've never even seen or heard of. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like a name that I've never even. And you know, I'm like, is that they're not an arena commander? Because sure as like if I'm dying in the PU, it's from the fucking game. Usually,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
I
Yeah.
fight that too with all these other mobs, but it's like that's usually what you know what happens. So it's like I'd be like, oh, they killed me. When? Where? What? Like no, dude.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
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 yeah.
it's whatever. You know, who cares? Um, we need to check. We have like a one kill tracker, or you know, we can all build our own. Though, you know what I mean? But yeah, so do you think do you think players have misconceptions about PvPers because of Esper? No, I'm just joking. Because I'm going to ask him when he's on. And it's like, I'll save it because it's a good question. But it's about. I'm like, are you the one that's responsible for everybody calling killers a griefer, dude, or what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, I'm happy for you to be on the show, but that shit's annoying, dude. Right? Like, you can't like. Don't even get me started about grief. Anyway, so yeah, you think people have misconceptions? Like we're just a bunch of murder hobos, whatever the fuck that is?
Yeah, and I mean, I actually, I don't think they do have misconceptions about us. Like we are murder hobos, you know. Like I said, like I do from time to time. Like sometimes I'm bored and I'm like, oh my god, there's an Aurora. It's the most deadly ship of the game. Boom, 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 and then you'll see like 8 Shadow Moses killing one Aurora. You know what I mean? Um, but like,
But
I
I'll
think the fundamental,
report it.
yeah, yeah. I think the fundamental difference is like, speaking for myself and a lot of my org mates in Shadow Moses, we want repercussions. Like I think that is the misconception that a lot of PvEers don't grasp, right? Like I would love it if I'm in Stanton and I get a CS and NPC ships are constantly hunting me and it escalates to a point where maybe a fucking NPC fully crewed Idris shows up. Like, I want repercussions. I want the game to be on hard mode. I don't want to kill a Bob for free, you know? So I think that is the misconception is not that we aren't murder hobos because most of us are. Most of us will gank a poor new soul at any moment if the opportunity arises, you know? Sometimes I have fun
Just because
interactions with them.
yeah, just because gang affiliation, not anything personal, right?
Yeah, yeah, just like, hey, you're here, I'm playing a game, I'm a PvPer, and you have cargo. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're just wrong place, wrong time, you know? But I think the misconception comes is that most PvPers just want to fly around the verse, ruining people's day
Yes.
and killing them for free.
Yep.
And I feel like for me, even in this scenario of repercussions, probably still going to kill you, but at least there will be repercussions when that happens. And maybe your death pushes me off of the Stanton server and I have to go to Pyro or something. You know, like I want there to be good security and I want there to be places where new players can go and have fun and be safe. Do I want it to be Armistice? No. Do I want it to have death related consequences if I get caught or something like that? Yes. I want there to be some sort of punishment for just blatantly killing just a passerby, you
Yeah.
know, and like that's the peak goal, in my opinion, for this game to get to is for there to be high sec, low sec, null sec, right? Pyro's null sec. Maybe Stanton's low sec. right? But like there
Right.
needs to be a safe place for when people just want to PvE and play the game. They need to have their zone too. And I support that, right? What I don't support is the PvE mentality of armistice zones or just these constraints that they want to put on the game, which in fact relay to more real griefing, right? I think that's something too, is like PvEers don't understand the real definition of griefing. If you want to know the real definition of griefing, it's this mission that we just had where everybody had to go to an armistice zone on a pad on an open planet and pull boxes. Griefing is destroying the elevators on purpose so people can't do it. Griefing is putting ships on the pad ramming, stealing people's boxes just so they don't complete the mission. That stuff like that is griefing. Where like killing somebody just because they're passing by, that's not griefing. It's griefing if they kill you, you leave a server, and they follow you on that server and they grief you, right? They kill you again and you do it, you leave and they follow. Like that is griefing. Even what GrieferNet does 9 times out of 10, maybe not that high, maybe like 7 times out of 10, technically isn't griefing. Killing new players just flying to a spot, is it annoying? Yes. Is it dumb? Yes. But is it griefing? No, not really. You could leave the server at any moment and go to a new
it's
one.
kind of their thing, right?
Yeah. So like, yeah, I think there are some misconceptions, but there's also not misconceptions. I feel like the misconceptions come between the ideologies of what the PvP crowd wants and what they don't want.
For sure. And to be like GrieferNet and stuff, once you get to a higher level in PvP, none of them can bother you or not. They all grief. Like they're not like trying to grief shadow modes and stuff like that. I mean, all the time, but they are good at griefing bobs on events and stuff, and that's kind of that's not a bad way to enter a game. Is for people called GrieferNet to clap you when you leave the station for the first time. It's like it shows you what's up. It's definitely not
Yeah.
griefing, right? And it's like
They
they can't grief really when it comes to like if your org is out there or like certain orgs out there, the griefers like they're not going to do nothing to that. So
Yeah, they're enjoying their gameplay within the mechanics of the game, and hopefully CIG looks at them and goes, how do we handle this in a good format, And like they have their purpose. They do.
yeah,
I hate to say it, but GNet has their purpose and hopefully CIG learns what these rats are going to do to manipulate the game in their favor and possibly actually grief people. And hopefully they close it out before the game actually hits 1.0 and is launched.
there you go. I'm gonna have Esper on hopefully, and he can appreciate on what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And because like I said, even though they get a lot of crap, I'm with you on it. It's like there's differences, and I haven't never in our kind of community, I've never heard anybody say that they're true griefers. When that to people that have that are PvP groups and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're a lone Bob out there and you catch yourself at OM1 and there's a bunch of GrieferNet people, you might get clapped, and you're gonna say whatever it is, but it's just like that had to do because you're alone and new, most of all,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Leave the server. Find a new one, buddy.
There
You,
you go.
know,
Right,
like
yeah, they do have Arena Commander, right? It's like makes
Yeah.
a little bit of a difference for sure. Yeah. So, in your time playing, have you seen? I know that you haven't played that long either, but it's like and I know it's already true, but in your time playing, have you seen the community evolve?
Yeah,
Like
I
every
mean,
day, yeah.
yeah, like the big flight change obviously that was a forced evolution. We saw a lot of people leave and now like there's names I've never even heard of who are incredibly talented pilots and good groups. I think it's changed for the better. Hopefully we continue to see more change with the renditions of the flight mode. Hopefully some of the old heads come back. There's a lot of Black Fleet guys that I like who I haven't seen in a while, and the same is for PAX. Like even AVS has some old heads that dropped out when Master Modes came. Vanguard lost some pilots. in terms of like leaving the game, not the org. But like I think it's changed for the better. And I hope as this evolves, some of the old players will come back. Hopefully. Maybe one day I could dream.
Papa Freedom, if you're out there, probably at like eating at a Whataburger or something. What's up? You can come
Yeah,
back.
yeah. But I
We love
love
you.
Papa
We love you,
Freedom, dude.
Freedom.
Yeah. I hope he comes back, dude. I
Me too.
love that guy so
I,
much. I met him at SitCon and he is just a good time, dude.
yeah,
Good
like
guy,
he
good
would
energy.
record me and stuff when I was a prospect stuff, and he could tell if I was in decoupled mode, like 8 miles away in his ship. I was like, damn, Papa Freedom, you're pretty bad. He's like, yeah, it's really cool. And it helped me a lot having them like break down what I was doing wrong because you don't mess around. Yeah, we miss Freedom. Um, and then another thing I wanted to say, I forgot I was going to say it was like we talked about. Do you think they have how we're gonna get like consequences and stuff, and it's like we're on the same team. It's like spank me if you can, right? Punish me, because it's like
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not gonna get punished for like get banned from the game or nothing. Get punished, whatever they say. But I'm with you on that. Just you can spank me if you can, right? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and even if it's an in-game mechanic, like instead of Armistice Zone, maybe have like insanely cracked turrets where if somebody turns red, pop, 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 shoots them down or whatever.
Yeah, it
Like
could be balanced for
there
sure.
needs to be just better mechanics than Armistice Zone because, like I said, like that's where the real fucking griefing comes in is Armistice Zones. Like that's the actual term of griefing
Yeah, you're like
when
in
that
a group
happens there.
fight. You're in the fight. You get out. You're gonna go to repair. You go to the moon base to repair, and one of their teammates pop in and rams you. That's
Yeah,
like, yeah, that's
yeah,
yeah,
like that sucks too. But I'm also talking about like there's dudes who are like they're loading up their ship and then all of a sudden they turn around, they get on, and there's a guy in there and they can't get him off because they're in armistice zone.
yeah, yeah, that,
You
yeah,
know, or like yeah, there's just all sorts of shit that's wrong with the armistice
it's
zone,
like,
and like again, I want there to be a safe place for PVEers to do PVE. I also like I'll be the first to tell you, dude, I'm a closet Bob. When I'm not streaming or whatever, there's not a ping. Like I'll be out salvaging. You know what I mean? I'll be out doing missions. Like I want PvE missions to be challenging and hard and enjoyable. So like people who just want PvE, like I'm kind of on your side in most instances, like and I think most PvEers are or PvPers are, like so.
yeah. Other than the NPCs being extremely easy in the game, like you said, if they could boost them up, make them tougher for a PVE area or whatever, but it's like, um, other than like I guess grinding and then trying to get stuff, it's really they're not. It just gets where unless it's a big ship and I'm in my arrow, um, that I have any challenge at all, and it's like so I if I could see that, I would get on board with that if like they made the NPC stuff harder, right? But yeah,
Yeah, make it harder, put in some puzzles, like don't make like maybe also like this last mission they did, man, like the armor is cool as fuck. I'll be the first to say like it looks pretty good. The ASD armor with like the hood and like it looks sick. But like
dude, I want
the
that.
mission, yeah, the mission is fucking atrocious. Like you have 600 of these locations that are all identical. Like I get it, but also throw some fucking variation in there. Like when I was doing the mission, I didn't get very far in it, but I was doing the mission just because it was new and I wanted to try it. And you take the mission, you go to this site, you go press a button, and then it's like, okay, now leave, and you're like, okay, and then you leave, and then you accept a new mission, and it brings you to a different spot, but the fucking same spot at the same time because all the buildings are the fucking same. It's like, brother, add some variety. Like the first half of that mission could be at different locations that you could go pick up some stuff, and then
Right,
maybe save the facility for the bulk of the mission when you're EVAing
two
around and you
floor
got to go a
plans,
little
like
deeper.
a different two floor plans
Yeah,
or
yeah,
three,
or
whatever.
yeah, fucking whatever, man. Like give us some variation in what we're looking at when we're grinding this shit cuz that shit is horrible.
Yeah, it's like they know we want the armor, so it's like yeah, we'll do anything. But I haven't played one yet, so I won't say too much. But did you get one of those suits or what?
No, yeah, after I did like 5 missions maybe 6. One of them broke, and then I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. Hopefully, I could kill a guy who has
Yeah,
it in his backpack or
just yeah,
something.
somebody will be mining with one that they bought or something for sure. I want a Vandal mask so bad, and now that we don't lose anything, it's just like, dude, I'm gonna be Vandal.
Yeah, that's a thing. I hate tier 0. That being said, like tier 0 is annoying to me. Um, for many instances, but like the one good thing that it has came from it in the old flight model and before tier 0, I would pirate a ship because I do like a little bit of piracy. You'd pirate a ship and there'd be a motherfucker in a med gown, you know?
Hmm.
Now everybody
Yeah,
has guns
yeah.
and they will fight back, and that is the one and only good thing that has ever came from tier 0 is the fact that everybody looks cool and they got their guns and they're willing to brawl, which is sick.
Everybody's wearing their church clothes because they're not scared to lose them, right? And
Yeah.
before you just try it on in your bunker or your hangar or whatever, and be like, oh shit, can't wear that out because that's cool.
Yeah, I
My
don't want to
brother,
lose
yeah,
that.
my brother
Yeah.
has a bunch of shit that I don't even know like where it came from, and I'm like, damn, that thing's bad, but I better not even try. But
Yeah.
now it's just like everybody's wearing drip. You know, everybody's all dripped out. They're looking good, looking fresh. And now when you board a big ship, you know that they're going to respawn and come right back for some more, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
I do miss full loot though.
me too. It's easier for me to just not be attached to stuff, and just, it's easier just to have it all go. Sometimes it's better for like your um, inventory to lose a little bit, right? So it's like, but whatever they want. I mean, I do think it's another restriction. Like your like master mode is kind of like, you know, like you said. I've said this before, but like armistice is kind of like a limiter, like, you know what I'm saying, a choke. So and then so is that too, right? And then like that's real bad when somebody gets on your ship and you can't kill them because they're in the that's stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like they're CSG is always good at like, you know, giving you a ship that's all badass and then choking it back, and you know they do that to everything. But it would,
Yep.
you know, just take to the best man wins, and then if the game doesn't kill you, or you don't fall through the stage before you loot my dead body, then you're a badass, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah, and then we'll just do it at that. It's like, but now you can walk around and see a bunch of dead bodies with some badass armor that you can't even touch and stuff, right? Real cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, any orgs, pilots, streamers, developers, or community members you want to recognize, shout outs. If you want to try to know what anybody else said, or their answers at the past guests or anything, and what advice would you offer to new people to the game or who are looking to get into Star Citizen and are yet undecided? Last two
Yeah.
questions.
Um I mean, I got to give a shout out to my first org, Vanguard, ZZ Gooch and Kuzi and Cold Kill, who I still play with. And even Jack Navarre, that's a legendary name. Ask around about that one when you get a chance.
All right.
Uh, but yeah, kudos to those guys for helping me and sticking out with me. Also got to shout out Shadow Moses, like just brought me up to another level of skill, you know, just iron sharpens iron. Um, and yeah, when you're training with the best, you kind of get really good. Um, Someone else's answers, like somebody that
Yeah,
you've
like
interviewed before, or
or any, like if you like, you know, I haven't interviewed too many people yet, but because it goes on, it could be like, well, what did Thumb in Your Bum say about um, if a genie can remove them, but whatever it is, you know, it's just your time
yeah,
to,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I would be
Someone will ask like what
curious.
you said about something. Watch. What
Yeah,
did Bum say about this?
yeah. I don't. The first thing that comes to mind is you haven't interviewed him, but like, I would just be curious what like a CIG, the genie getting rid of a bug question would be. Just, I
Right.
would be
Yeah.
so
To
curious
see
what
what
they
he's like.
would
Well, the one
say.
that he's on the elevators, man.
Yeah. It would be very interesting, I
That would be a
think, to
good one
hear.
for the myth, the legend, the man himself, Chris, to be like, what could you genie about the game right now, or
Yeah,
genie in?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That'd be a fun one.
He's like, oh, more support for the Xbox 360 controller that I play with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or even like Yogi or XLB or
DJ Button.
Montic or something. Yeah, or DJ. You know, like
If you hear
it
this,
would be
DJ,
a
what's up?
very yeah. Um, and as far as new advice for somebody looking to get into Star Citizen, I would just say like when you're playing, just have an open mind. You know, like it's gonna be rough if you don't have friends who play or whatnot. And don't be afraid to like talk to people in the verse. You know, VoIP is a little scuffed right now, so you could try that. But also like just typing in global and just trying to meet some people. Whether you're a PVE or a PvP or like that's what the beauty of this game is. You know, it's a big sandbox. It's our game. We all get to play it. Nobody owns it, and like there's just this opportunity to have cringe, funny, horrible, amazing experiences with people online in this game, and they all have merit and they all have value. And that to me, that's what makes this game amazing is the fact that it's so in depth, it's so detailed. You could get lost. You know, it's a bit real world in
I
the
do.
sense of like you go to a station and you kind of actually have to look around, right? You have to go, how do I get to the, terminal? Like, oh my God, there's signs. You know, there's like little clues.
Yeah, for sure. Be on
Um,
somebody's ship, and then you guys log out or something, and then they put you back at Hurston or something like that, and then try to find your way out of there where you never been. Is like, that's the game right there too.
yeah. And talk to people, man. Like it's so fun to talk to people. Yeah, like it's what makes this game amazing. Like just the fact that you could just like interact with people and like there's a thing I was doing. I won't go too crazy because we're wrapping it up, but
Do what you want.
I, yeah, yeah. Well, I was pirating on my Zero to Hero account, and I got this. Somebody in chat like challenged me. They're like, whatever. Like you see this little vulture. They were like, board his ship. So I was in a Cuddy Blue. I turn on my little wee woo lights, the little police lights, and I come up to him and I just start kind of like doing this dumb
Cherries
little
and
role
blueberries.
play.
I love this.
Well, I was like, excuse me, sir, do you have your salvaging permit on you? I'm with the Bureau of Salvage Management, and I just fucking VoIP this guy, and eventually he just lets me on his ship because I'm RPing a cop, and like eventually I was like, we're in tier 0, mind you, so people are cautious about this. I was like, sir, I'm gonna need you to take off all your armor and sit right there on the
Get butt
bed.
naked, sir.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then I like laid on the floor. I crawled towards him and I pretended to like sniff his virtual feet. And then I got up and I was like, "All right, sir, have a good day." And I just left. And then he like typed in global. He was like, "Who the fuck was just on my vulture?" Like that was the most amazing Star Citizen experience I've ever had.
Yeah, he probably liked it, and you should have been like, "You're welcome," right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's just like funny. Like you never know what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? You could get an asshole. Maybe
Yeah,
they're a dick, and maybe
if
they
there is
say
a
some
chat.
bad words.
Yeah.
Or maybe you meet a cool guy that you become friends with forever. Or maybe you just have a fun virtual experience.
Yeah, and every now and then you can catch AVS at one of those OM1s, and he'll fight anybody that rolls up there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And it's like you
exactly.
never know. Like I still, that was his video was like the first one I seen his settings video. So even though I fought, I mean I went with Freedom and some dudes to fight with him from Blackfeet, and so it's like I've only fought with him one time with them in the MPU, and then just see him like do the same shit that I've seen in the videos. So that's really cool. And then to be able to be in a what's it called, Discord with them ever or a couple times that was is still cool for me because it's like watching my brother play and all that, it's I've always known his name and like Virgil's name and um, like a few like that, that I've watched their stream, and always like one day when I play, I'm gonna try to do that shit. So it's really cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and it's like Yeah, and it's like the voice. I didn't even know for like the first cup, like the first time I got in the P, I didn't know about the chat thing until somebody said something. Or there is a chat,
Yeah,
and it's like, you know, what I mean?
yeah,
Like what the fuck? Oh, you could talk to any. I didn't even know you could talk to anybody. And then I love when you go like to a station and somebody has like blaring music on their voice. You know what I'm saying? That's always cool, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
All
it's like,
sorts of interactions you could
yeah,
have.
it's like yeah, for sure. Like at least have good music will be good. But that's like, you know, we were talking about the devs. Like I was gonna say, there was one time I got uh, Papa Freedom he banned me from Discord privileges. Basically, I've had that happen a couple times. Like I've been banned from the music channel, but like somebody was in our global and they were like, "Fucking CIG, fucking dumbass devs. They fucking know shit." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, right. DJ Button's smart, huh? DJ Button." And like, I thought it was funny. And then Freedom was like, "Oh, you don't ever." I was like, I thought DJ Button would appreciate that, but um, got in
Yeah, you
trouble for
backed
that.
him up.
Yeah, I backed him up. Got in trouble for it, but it's alright. Because Freedom did it cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
Yeah.
yeah, that would be. I mean, all that's really cool, and I thank you for being on. And like, man, with the time, it's like we could have talked about some of this stuff for hours, right? And it's like you can always come back, but it's like let's just see how the new time goes, because I don't think I did one less than an hour before, so I appreciate it. And I know people are gonna be glad to hear, they'll see you killing them or whatever, and then they get to actually meet you and hear you,
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Thanks for having me.
Dude, anytime. I appreciate it. And like, I'll fly with you, whatever. I'll hang out with fights or whatever. Whatever. Let me know, and uh, we'll wrap it up. And I appreciate it, dude. You're cool
Yeah, man. Hit me up if you ever want a duel or something.
for sure. Thumb in your bum. He will probably spank your booty if you come across him, but he'll fight you for sure. All
Hell
right,
yeah,
cool.
I will.
Hell yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, dude. I'm a dip.